gachtain a gama is sig dul roig gama freisin. So in you've big make den of analíse Páipéar haon a bhaineann le scrúdú de thar teistimíochta Gaeilge ATAL Mr Savlíon 2019 agus tám chun píosa beag óla sa chóirtaíomh faoin Páipéar agus faoin scéim bhearchála freisin atá sé sin ceart go leor. So seo Páipéar haon, so tá mí chun tosnú leis an gluas tuiscint más féidir. So de gluas tuiscint agus beag mé ag chaint trí bhean an bhéarla den cuid is mó ar son sibse is dócha ionas go digigh sibh gach rud atá rá agam. So quid A, quid B agus quid C. So the gluas tuiscint is divided up into 3 sections: quid A, quid B agus quid C. Now quid A is worth 18 marks, quid B is worth 28 marks, agus quid C is worth a whopping 14 marks. Now, degan being quid C and quid is jachara. It's not really the most difficult. Alright, but just to let you all know, to get a pass in the gluas tuiscint, you only have to get 24 out of 60. So níl sé sin róiachar, right? 24 out of 60 to pass your gluas tuiscint. Doable? I think so. Alright. Now, quid A, as I said, it's worth 18 marks. Now, with the gluas tuiscint, it's worth 60 in total, and the 60 you get is for tuiscint. Cluas ir tuiscint, understanding. So you get 60 marks for your understanding of the tape, but also do you understand the questions? So it's not really a Gaeilge exam per se, the cluas tuiscint. It's more, do you understand the questions and do you understand what's being said? So that is why practice is so important for the cluas tuiscint, okay? And with the marking scheme as well, how it works is, and it's quite clever. So with the marking scheme, you can do well even if your Gaeilge isn't great, because how the marking scheme is you get 60 for tuiscint, and then what they do is they take marks away from you then. So for example, they take marks away from 0 to 3, depending on how bad your Gaeilge is. So if your Gaeilge is go fásach sa cluas tuiscint, the worst they'll take off you is 3. Now, you have to have the correct answer or something very close to it. So if they can see that you're on the right track, right, you have the answer but it's spelled wrong, you'll get the marks, but you'll probably lose the marks at the end for Gaeilge. Okay, but if you leave a blank or put something in English, you're obviously not going to get marks. Okay? Now, so Tommy condul tríd na ceistena so dús. So fógra haon quid A. So who put out this notice? Cé cormach an fógra seo. Now I'm going to go quickly because you can rewatch this if you want, right? Who are the young people that this competition is directed towards or focused on? Luig is mentioned. Mention 2 things that the applicants have to do to apply for the competition. Le chuirsteach ar an gomórtas ar an plus arú to apply for the competition. They want 2 things. Gárod, give them 2. That's all, give them 2. Cadi an dáta déirnach le haig na nonn trálacha. Okay, let's look here for a second. Na nonn trálacha. Na plus arú. So guys, this is what you need to be doing from now on. You need to start nurturing your sense of noticing. Language, the Irish language especially, is full of patterns, right? And in the comprehension section with the grammar, you need to be able to spot the patterns for the different tenses for the Tishil Ginadach, for an trúha agus an tolera, the singular and the plural. Now, na is never followed by an arú unless the noun is in the Tishil Ginadach plural. So for example, Anamnacha na Muchali, the names of the boys. Anamnacha na Galini, na plus arú, the names of the girls. Here we have the Tishil Ginadach plural as well. So if anytime you read, you start noticing these things or asking yourself questions, so why is the arú there? Why is the na and the arú there? Even here, why is the H there? Oh yeah, because 2 vowels coming together. Like, ask yourself the question, why? Cén fág will an séú ann, cén fág will an tarú ann. And then if you start doing that now, you will nurture your sense of noticing, all right? and that will help you in the long run. Fogradó, where will the public meeting be on next Wednesday night? Cén Fá, why? Why did the farmers have to keep the animals in San Arach? Now you might recognise Arach from Antarach here. Let you figure that one out for yourselves. Scríobh síos rud amháin. Write down one thing that interrupted the growing of the grass or the hay in the summer, right? Agus cén imní mhór atá na fermióirí, notice the use of so if you're noticing, because it's imní, it's an emotion. Agus bíonn na mthúchan earth an tamar fad, tá brón orm. And by brón earth, tá brón orm. The emotions and the illnesses are on you as Gaeilge. So what huge worry did the farmers have about this winter? Or do they have about this winter? Fui plus Aru. So cén fá bhfuil an Taru ann? Why is that Aru there? Again, you're noticing. Okay. Quid B. So again, quid A, 18 marks. Quid B, 28 marks. And you can pass on how many marks? 24. Okay. So again, you hear this twice. So why were there extra workers needed in the bike shop? Write down 2 points of information. Puinte Ólis Tishel Ginnaduk. Ólis, Puinte Ólis to Tishel Ginnaduk. There's an I. You're noticing that Sheila mentions about the greenway. 2 ways to say the greenway, Glasvalach or Rian Glass. Mention 2 reasons that the greenways attract a lot of visitors to the areas in which they are, according to Sheila. Gudi ne counter. On counter. Why is the I there? Oh yeah, because obviously it's plural. On counter ne counter. Again, you're noticing. So give one example that shows that there was a huge increase in business in the area of Dungarvan last summer. I counter, I plus Aru, you're noticing. Rungarvan. So give one example. Give them one, please. They're only asking for one. Chadarina, what did the government do? Chadarina and Realtus to, I suppose, promote or to develop more greenways around the country, or Fud na Tíre around the country. Fud plus Tishel Ginnaduk, on Tír, Tishel Ginnaduk na Tíre, Timpel na Tíre around the country. De Réir na Tuairisce, according to the report, that Cathal read Ledeni. So look, on Tuairisce's the report, De Réir na Tuairisce, Tishel Ginnaduk has this after a compound preposition. Again, I'm going to keep saying it in this video, you need to start nurturing your sense of noticing. Okay. So quid be Egdalaroig. What course will Martin do in Trinity, a Gloucester na Trinoda? A Yin Hig. Now FAIDH, F for future. So what course will he do? What complaint do people have about accommodation in Dublin according to Breed? Low-Steen accommodation. And where did Martin get the information packet about the accommodation? Okay. Write down 2 things that show that there was horrible pressure when it came to looking, Cordach Low-Steen, searching for accommodation according to Martin. Now, use your own knowledge on the situation. We all know there's a housing crisis, okay? And you can predict what you think the answer might be. What do you know about the housing shortage in Dublin for students? If you know something, it's very hard to get college accommodation, okay? Now, cén fá meg Martin Irie an Alua or Madden. So why will Martin have to get up early on Alua or Madden in the morning? Okay, think about it. Common sense. Maybe he's living outside the city because he couldn't get something central. Okay, predict the answer. And if you have an idea of what you think it might be, then when you hear it, it might make it easier for you to understand what's being said in the tape. And that works. It's a good strategy, prediction, with the listening and with the comprehension. Same with the comprehension. If you see the title, predict. Okay? Predict what you think might be in the text, what you think you might see, what words you might see. And predict your answer for the questions as well. So if it's about something to do with history, and you know something about this historical era, then you might be able to get the answer anyway, because you know it from your study in history, or it might be there from common knowledge. So just try and predict. It's a very good strategy to do. What work does Martin do every Saturday? So flying through it now. Why were the lighthouses built in Tushkart in Northern Donegal, Doonanaul, right? So again, we have a county. So place names are very important for the listening. Cén Bealach Trasúrachta ar a bhfuil. Bealach is a way, it's a road, okay? So, or it's a track. So tourist track. So what tourist track is the lighthouse situated on? And how many lighthouses are open? Oscailt. So like oscailt na fuinóige, opening the window. So that's the verb oscail. Open to tourists. Now, doch rasori. Why is there a H there? Oh yeah, so you're noticing that. Great. So do obviously puts a H on nouns. So how many lighthouses are open for tourists as part of the tourism program? Big Lighthouses of Ireland. Again, Céad, we're probably looking for a number. So tor on figure, give the figure. Never done. All right. What are the aspects of life of the area that we get an account of in the exhibitions in the visitor centre? Onid na gortori, na plus aru, tishil ginadach plural. On counter with an I and a H. Oh, right, sail is here, so we have two nouns coming together. This is obviously in the tishil ginadach. Again, we're noticing. Pisa do. Kin Cadaví or Shula Bork and Crokig, A plus a Roo. So what was on in Croke Park the 2nd of September last year? Right, do you know? It might help you answer it. Again, common knowledge might help you. So what feat, right? What feat did the Dublin team have on that day? What achievement or what feat? What did they achieve on that day? And mention, Luig, Cúisháin, one reason that the Dublin player panel were praised, or Mullach. Brihar Sarah and Shachacha. So give one reason why they were praised, okay? That's the clues, Tishkent. If it's a figure or a date or something like that, write it out in numbers. For example, question 1. Sorry, Fogor Hain, question 2. The answer for this was on Tochtú Lá Isfeha the VNR, the 28th of January. So all you had to write out was this. And hopefully now pen will work. That's supposed to be a 2, 8 / 1. Excellent. And you would have got marks, okay? So remember, it's worth 60, and at the end, the marks for Gaeilge then are taking off, right? So if you get 55, but your Gaeilge isn't great, they might take 2 or 3 off you, so you'll end up with 52. That's the listening. So the best way to practice for the listening is to go onto the old exam. Go onto the examinations website, look up the marking schemes, and you'll see the listening in text. Listen to the CDs and underline the words that are pronounced differently. That's one thing you can do, so especially to deal with the different dialects. Next thing you can do as well is just do practice listenings, but make sure you learn vocab to do listenings. For example, Irish organisations, Radio na Gaeltachta, Radio na Lifa, Chunra na Gaeilge, all those organisations, the counties, the towns, place names, such as. Okay. Then we're moving on to Huidado then, which is the Cathracht, which is the composition, okay? Now, most students choose to do the essay. Some do the Sporach. I wouldn't recommend doing the scale, okay? It's very difficult to get good marks in, okay? So let's move on to the essay. Now, so some information I was given recently, right, about why some students didn't do very well last year in the essay. Because they had essays prepared. Now, I'm not saying don't prepare essays, but don't all have the exact same essay. Try and maybe change it up a little bit, okay? Yeah, 100%. So try and show off a bit of imagination in what you write. Now, this part is very important. So you have to make a continuous link between title and what's written. If you don't answer the question that's asked, you will get 0. Okay? Now, let's look at the titles. Now, you need to write 2 pages for the Ashta. If you write any less than 2 pages, there's a different marking scheme for that. Okay, and you lose marks automatically. What I say to my students is write 2 pages in 2 lines. Just cover yourself, go over the 2 pages. Now, they say you have to write 500-600 words. Do not count the words, okay? You don't have time for that. So just write your 2 pages, 2 lines, and that's it. And another tip as well is always write the title of the essay on the top of the sheet, and after every paragraph, make sure you're referring back to the title of the question. So let's look at the titles. The housing crisis in Ireland at the minute, okay? Women in sport nowadays, changes for the better on life in Ireland recently. This question caught out a lot of people. They thought it was a fibina ashta, but it wasn't. The enjoyment and the pressure regarding the life of a second level student, okay, that's not too bad. And then tá, okay, so have you noticed that these four don't have a verb beginning? One does. That means these four are called topic essays. These are topics, right? But this is a raw ashta, which is a statement essay. So you're given a statement. Now with the statement essays, you can normally recognize them by a verb being at the beginning of the title. So tá. You can agree or disagree with this title. But with these, you have to write on the title. Okay? You can agree or disagree with this. Fair enough? Okay. So the political relationship between world countries is uneasy nowadays, which is what this title meant. Ní huamhnach uneasy. Cadre of polity, the political relationship between countries of the world is uneasy, ní huamhnach. So you have to discuss this. You could have agreed or disagreed with this. With the scale, let's move on to the scale. If ní hagan kiel revish, sense doesn't come before age. This is a shackle. The diaspora. Now, with the diaspora, you have to pick one side of the argument. You can't be for and against the motion. You have to be for or against the motion. Now, another thing with the diaspora is, and some students don't know this, you can do the diaspora if none of your essays come up and write it in essay form, if you had to. So if you didn't learn the introduction for the diaspora, okay, which is something you have to learn if you want to do the diaspora, you'll only lose 5 marks by writing a diaspora in essay style, because the marking scheme for the question for the diaspora, it's out of S. S is style, and you get 5 marks for style. So are you writing an S? Are you writing over subject? You get 15 for over. And then for G, then is Gaeilge, and you get 80 for Gaeilge. Now, if you get 0 in over, you get 0 for Gaeilge automatically. So if you write an out of subject essay, you want to get 0. That's how it works, okay? But if you are stuck, you can write diaspora as an essay if you need to, and you'll be marked at 95 instead of 100, lose 5 marks for style. Now let's look at titles. So young people in Ireland take good care of their health, and the habit or the custom of reading nowadays. So you have to write a piece of chainte, which is a talk or a speech that you would make on this subject. Okay, so that's the Capadora section. So do I have anything else to say about the Capadora? You have to write 2 pages, right? If you don't write 2 pages, then you are going to reduce marks. I mentioned that before. If you get 0 for over, you get 0 for Gaeilge. Anything else written down here? Piece of chainte. No, that's it. Okay, but just remember, if there's tá haon, it's a statement, right? And you can agree or disagree. Whereas a topic then is just something you write on, but you all have to write on the topic. Do not write an essay on a title that isn't there. You're going to get 0 straight away. Happened, as I said, with C, because a lot of students thought this was a question. Okay. But 2 pages, maybe 2 pages and 2 lines. Just you have 7 options for your essay on the page, but you only want to count. But if you have to do the diaspora, you lose 5 marks for style for not writing it as a diaspora, and you 95. So if you're stuck, these 2 as well to go with. Okay, so Gurv Mila Maharuiv, so Shin Páipéar. It's not that bad, all right, but it does take a lot of practice for the listening. Okay, they need a lot of practice. And for the essay, just sure with ashta, you have 2 nice start, and right? And you refer to the question throughout your essay. You can include some shanachals, nahanachaitas throughout, or Gaeilge firstly, and try and link your paragraphs as well. So shin as well as on to the next paragraph. Support this. Go on to the next. All right. So shin pop in, Gurv Mina